All right, everybody, welcome to another edition of Butting Heads. Connor Sherman sitting here with Kevin Wilson. Kev, what is up, my man?
What's going on? We're back. We took a little hiatus after you know, the end of last season, but brand new season. Here we go. We're ready to rock and roll 2021.
New
So
season, new job. I got that job. That's why we've been on that little bit of a hiatus, getting
con
settled in, getting a little bit comfortable here, but up and ready
congratulations.
to go. Thank
Yeah.
you, thank you.
Yeah, I've been working a lot myself, so it's been a little hectic finish to the year last year, but we're here, new year, fresh start. Try to do more content. We're on Twitter. So, drop a
Yeah, we're
follow
now on Twitter. That's the big thing.
on
Big thing.
Twitter. I don't know if we're gonna venture onto TikTok. I don't think so. But
Dude, we could, bro. Those
could
are
venture.
funny as hell, man.
It is. TikTok is pretty funny.
They
So
like it took me until August to get onto there, and like, why didn't get I get on any sooner?
I know. Yeah, no, I've been on all year. It's been kind of a nice thing. It's pretty funny to watch and kills a lot of time. You get sucked into it. So maybe TikTok, but for now, Twitter. We're gonna try to pump out as much stuff as we can on Twitter. Um
Bring back Vine.
yeah, but we're gonna try to bring back Vine. So, we'll see what happens here. But for now, we're gonna talk some hockey, you know? So
Ready to have it back, bro. So happy to have it back. Unreal, man. It's just nothing better than coming home from work to a hockey game.
it is, and they're playing, we got hockey how many days straight? There's like literally no like,
It's like
there's not a day where every team's
129.
off. Yeah, so it's gonna be exciting. So we have something to watch every night. I don't know if you know this, but like obviously, I don't pay for the, NHL Center Ice package, whatever it is. But do you have ESPN Plus, by the way?
I do not, but I do have the NHL package.
Oh, you have the NHL package. I was gonna say ESPN Plus always shows like one game a night, so it's always like kind of nice to watch something. It's usually like the West Coast game or something like that. It's usually whatever they
Right.
choose, but it's nice to watch at like 10 at night, fall asleep to some, fights and, you know,
Dude,
goals.
didn't even take long for the gloves to drop in any of them games this year. Like
No, hey,
Miles Wood yesterday got dropped, my
yeah, he
dude.
did. I mean, hey, technically with these new divisions, which we're going to talk about here on this episode and what we've seen within the divisions so far, I mean, everyone played the same team twice except for Toronto, for the most part. And Edmonton played Montreal, but they're promoting fighting, you know? So
Yeah,
everyone,
they are.
everyone's, it's just a big rival everywhere you see. I mean, so it's gonna be fun. It's gonna get even worse. So
They even came out with a hand gesture for the fighting penalty.
yeah, so it's gonna be fun, and maybe I'll stop saying so much throughout the episode. So so let's start, I guess, right? What
Let's start in the East. Let's
let's
start
start
in
in
the
the East
East.
match, mutual East division. Let's go. All right, let's hop into it. What do you wanna talk about first?
Dude, the East always is the best division every year. And I'm like talking about that major metro area, which is where most of these teams come from. Every year, I always feel like, dude, we can see a Stanley Cup champion, whether the last couple of years between the Penguins and the Capitals, um, now with Boston in the next couple of years, it's going to be the Rangers here. Hopefully, the Devils soon.
I mean,
Um,
Islanders 2 games away last year from Stanley Cup.
and it exactly, dude. And the Islanders right now, every year when it comes down to it, somebody in that major metro area is always a contender for the Stanley Cup, and that unreal. It's an
Oh yeah,
unreal division. I think Boston's going to win it this year. Um,
I'm a little nervous
let's
about Boston right now, to be honest with you.
let me
They
let's go through and name all the teams, and then give me that comment on Boston.
okay.
So it's Boston, Buffalo, New Jersey, the Islanders, the New York Rangers, the Flyers, the Penguins, and the Capitals.
It's pretty much the same division besides, Columbus and Carolina. But like it's pretty I mean it's stacked. They're all like, Washington, Boston and the Islanders are like very big physical teams. So it's like they should, they'll match up well with the Rangers or the Penguins aren't even that big, and Buffalo's bit. I honestly think Buffalo, New Jersey are probably the weakest two teams. Um,
Agreed.
but I think like their big bodies, like the way how big they are, is like they're gonna dictate play a lot in a lot of these games. Because even the Rangers, they're not that big of a team. The Devils always aren't a big team. The Devils and Rangers, they beat you with speed. Um, and I mean, how do you counter, a bigger team with speed? But at the same time, how does a bigger team counter a fast team? You hit the crap out of them. So it makes for a fun watch, and I think we saw that in a lot of the games because everyone, played each other twice. Well, not everyone played each other, but the same teams played twice, and we saw a lot of you know, tail of two tapes in a lot of these games because New Jersey came out, they lost that first game, won the second one. Rangers got destroyed that first game against the Islanders, came back and destroyed the Islanders in the next game. Um, Obviously the Flyers had Pittsburgh's number this weekend, and Buffalo played pretty well against Washington. It wasn't like a bloodbath in any games, so um, yeah, well, I mean they're pretty. It's a stacked division. You could have anything can happen.
It's such a good division, and big bodies is going to play a number this year because you're playing so many games in such a short amount of time that these small guys are going to get worn out after they keep getting hit over and over and over again. So size is actually going to matter this year. I do think Boston still will win this division. I was a little bit impressed with New Jersey this weekend, being able to keep Boston to a shootout in the first game and then beating them in overtime in the next game. What an unreal play to end that game with 1.7 seconds left in overtime, dude. That was absolutely nuts.
Oh, it was great.
Absolutely nuts.
Yeah, I mean Boston right now. I mean it's only two games. Uh, they concern me in the sense of they don't seem like they have a lot of like in that offensive zone. It's not a. I think they're missing Pasternak a lot right now, and the creativeness isn't there as it would be when he's in the lineup. So to me, they're offensively they're a bit stale. I mean, it looked through the first two games. I mean, they did get a lot of shots on Blackwood, and Blackwood's looked incredible. But I mean, it's kind of like a change in, but I'm not saying like obviously Char is like the reason why they were so good last year, the year before, but like you lose like a guy like that, and then not
A
lose,
big
you let
leader,
him walk.
bro.
They weren't going to resign Mizol. He's a huge leader. Um, I just think right now they're just stale offensively. They really need Pasternak back. You could tell, in those first two games, the creativeness definitely wasn't there. So they're concerning right now. I think when Pasternak gets back, they're gonna light it up. I think they're gonna do just enough too to hang around in those top three spots points wise, because they do have other pieces that can win you games. It's just right now it's definitely not the Boston Bruins we're used to seeing. So yeah, and the Devils did play well those first two games. I think the Devils opened some eyes a little bit. I'm not saying they're going to be a great team, but I think if you're a Devil fan, you had to like what you see the first two games. You had to like what you see with Blackwood. Had to love what you saw from Jack Hughes, the 3 assists in those two games. Um,
Yeah, Jack Hughes looked real good early on.
yeah, and the Devils might be the fastest team in that division. So they're
You
they're
got to remember too, Kev. You got to remember Nico's out right now, and they don't have Jesper Bratt back yet either.
yeah. So they're only going to get better. It's just a matter of can they play at this level all year with the roster they do have because it is pretty weak, you know. But and once again, I just said but
Hey, man, it made Corey Crawford retire.
yeah, right. Um, but when you have a goalie like Blackwood who seems like through those two games can steal you a win, I mean, there's chances to pick up some points for the Devils, probably each and every game. So I mean, just from those first two games, and I'm obviously a Ranger fan. I hate the Devils, but like, you know, from what I've saw, I've been impressed. Everyone's pretty much seems like they bought into Lindy Ruff's system, how they want to play, so how he wants them to play. So they could be a fun team. That's you're a Devil fan, you just want to see them grow. You just want to see some improvements from the previous couple of years, and if you can see that, you can get excited. So. I'm a Devil
Definitely
fan right
worth
now.
it.
I'm pretty excited from what I saw through those first couple of games.
Yeah, and you know who I'm really excited to watch in that division this year too? Jack Eichel and Taylor Hall.
Oh, absolutely. That's a fun little combo right there. Uh,
Dude, Jack is so creative, and he's got an unreal release time on that snapshot of his.
hmm No, absolutely. They're gonna be power play. Power play wise, they got plenty of weapons. They got no. The problem is with them the last couple of years, same thing. Defense is very weak. The goalie's very weak. Uh, they're gonna score a lot of goals, but you know, they might honestly. I would say they're probably gonna finish seventh. I think the Devils are gonna end up finishing last. Like I don't think they're gonna play as well as they have through the first couple of games, but I do think they're going to be like a decent team. Like you're not going to want to play them like if you're trying to get into the final spot in a playoff spot. But Buffalo, yeah, I mean right now Jack Eichel, Taylor Hall, it's fun, but how many games is it going to win you? So,
True, absolutely.
but I
I took Darlene in our fantasy league this year too.
got you. Yes, so we'll see. I mean, if they're an interesting team because of that offense, but I think what you're going to get. Their two games have a -3 goal differential. So it's kind of like they're starting off on the pretty much how they were like last year. So,
Yeah,
but I will
well,
say this,
Pittsburgh has a big minus goal differential too, though.
yeah, but Pittsburgh at least has plenty of talent up front, forward
True,
wise, so
absolutely.
they can dig themselves out of it. They have looked a bit rusty in the first three games. We saw them, like you said today, they barely squeaked one out against the Washington, but um,
Well,
I think they'll be
just,
okay.
yeah, well, I mean, Sid is unreal. Sid has looked so good so far early on. He's got 2 goals in 3 games, but if you watched him in Washington today, he turned it on late in the third and
Yeah,
definitely could have won that game for him at any point. I mean, as he can anytime he steps on the ice. Big thing is going to be defense. I mean,
like you said, they just lost Matheson today, and you know,
for a long period of time, and it's not like that defense was any good to begin with. Matheson took a really bad uh, slashing penalty in his first game as a Penguin against the Flyers, and that allowed Philly to score on the power play with less than a minute left in the first, and that was a really bad take. And then another new Cody Ceci took a bad penalty as well.
right? Yeah, and I mean, can't take penalties as the Flyers. Flyers are going to be a problem. They're a wagon. They're going to be a problem this year for sure. So I, Pittsburgh's going to win plenty of games because they're going to play teams like the Devils a bunch and Buffalo, and I think the Rangers and Pittsburgh match up pretty evenly. I would say. So they're gonna they're I think they're gonna get in. I think they're gonna get in that 4 spot, but it might be a bit of a rough year to get to that point. And you gotta hope no one else gets hurt. And you know, this division is just like we've talked. Like we said a bit earlier, it's all about hitting and how those big four teams are gonna or three teams are gonna throw the body around. So you gotta
But
hope the
that's
Stars
the
stay
issue.
healthy, and I think they'll be okay. I don't think they're gonna be as bad as they were the first two games against the Flyers and bit rough today against Washington, but they won. So they do have that offense that can carry them to a victory. So I think they'll be all right.
Was better today. Jake Gensel, what an unreal goal to end it too.
Oh yeah, that was disgusting. Welcome to the
Dude,
thing. Welcome to a NHL shootout, Samsonov.
yeah, for real. Yeah, I mean, and Gensel too. I mean, he's starting to get recognized around the league, but like he is way too good to not be on anybody's radar. That kid's going to be an absolute elite left winger.
Absolutely. So like I said, I think Pittsburgh's going to be fun. Not fun. I'm sorry. Fine. Um, obviously there's plenty of winnable games within the division. So I think it's that 4th and 5th spot, I think will be between the Rangers and Penguins. I think they're going to be, battling for that. So I wouldn't, you're a Penguin fan. I don't know if I'd be super concerned, but you know, you do have to be a little. The defense is definitely an issue. So we'll see
Well,
what happens.
the Islanders play a certain type of way, and obviously their only real talent on that team is Matt Barzell. I would think. I mean, is there any other big names in New York? Like,
I
um,
mean, I mean, Undersley is a solid player. Jordan Ellaby's not awful. They're not like superstars. Barzell's a star, superstar, whatever. If you consider him a superstar, you don't. He's still a stud. The thing with the Islanders is they're just such like they're a big team and they
a
play
complete team.
the perfect system for Trotz, how Trotz wants it to play. So the problem with the Islanders is you can't go down first. Like you can't be down 2-0, you can't be down 3-0. Like that, then they're gonna play defense. They're gonna play big, and they're gonna bully you around for the rest of the game. And we saw that in that first game with the Rangers. And you got to jump on them early. So the Islanders, 2 games away from a Stanley Cup last year, pretty much kept the whole team intact. I don't know if anyone even left. I don't even, and I
No,
don't.
I don't
They
think
didn't
anybody
re-sign
did.
anyone new. It's the same team. So you know, so they play the way that Barry Trotz wants them to play. They're gonna hit you a lot. They're gonna forecheck and they're gonna play. They're not. You're not gonna see any like amazing goals out of them. You're gonna see dirty, gritty goals. And in this division, perfect style play. So who knows? I mean, we did see the Rangers did beat them 5-0 last night, and you know chalk that up as just a wash of a game. They just maybe weren't ready to go. Who knows? I, I think the Islanders are a problem though. So
Another big thing too is you have to remember there was like no training camp this year. There was no preseason games. Like these guys haven't played in almost a year. Most of these guys haven't played in almost a year.
exactly, and I think like if you're on a team that got like destroyed that first game of the season, right? Like the Rangers got massacred 4-0. Didn't look great at all. Everyone looked bad. Even Colorado didn't look that great in that first game against St. Louis. Um, you gotta let like teams like that. Like I feel like you gotta obviously 2 weeks of training camp doesn't help anyone, and they only had a very short session in the summer. You gotta let them get a couple games in. You gotta let them at least get like a feel for it again. And we saw that at least with the Rangers and Avalanche. The Avalanche come out and they win. What was it, 8-0 the other night?
8-0.
And the Rangers beat the Islanders 5-0. And we saw it in a couple games too. Detroit. When we get to that division, Detroit ended up beating Carolina and Ottawa. Even Ottawa, first game of the year, played pretty damn well against Toronto, beat them 5-3. They go to the next game, they lose. Same thing with Edmonton. It's like you got to let them get games under them, and I think you'll see they'll be fine. And the talent obviously is it's there for teams like that, and you know, so yeah, I don't know, but
Yeah, I
he's got
mean,
to get some games
no,
in.
yeah, well, that's all it's going to take for him to come back, and then I think really see these elite teams go right back at it. I mean, I think you'll see more. I think you'll see more from the Pens. You'll see definitely more from Washington, and Boston. I think is going to absolutely be fine. So there's nothing to worry about in Boston.
Yeah, and I think
Um,
Philly's going to be fine too. Philly's definitely an issue.
Philly's a good team.
Yeah,
I
there's
hate to say that, but
unfortunately
for the
they're a
first time
good
in a
team.
long time.
They're a problem for sure.
Yeah.
So there's no reason to jump off the ship after the first couple games.
No.
The Rangers Twitter was toxic on Thursday, and then everything's back to normal today. So you just
Rangers Twitter's always toxic though.
I know every most of fans bases Twitters are toxic, but like you just gotta let me get a game under. Let a game too. Some teams might need a week, and then all of a sudden they'll click. It happens. There's no reason to jump off the ship right away. And if you're like a fan of like a team like the Devils, who everyone thought they were going to get destroyed those first 2 games, and then you see what they did, you're excited. So
Let them play. Once they're up and running, let them play.
just let them
So,
go.
you know what I was kind of bothered by, but you know what I'm also very excited for?
It's that.
Well, I'm kind of bothered that Raleigh, North Carolina doesn't make the cut for the East.
it was
And the
interesting.
Kings are playing in the Central.
Who? The Canes? Yeah, that's
Yeah,
strange. How the
which
whole that division's weird.
and you know what, that this this formatting helps a lot of teams, but it also hurts a lot of teams. And the Carolina Hurricanes are absolutely one of them because they could have won the Metropolitan this year.
Oh,
They're
they're definitely were talented enough to win the Metropolitan.
they're definitely a very, very good team, but now they have to go up against Tampa Bay, and Dallas is going to be in there as well. So I know that Carolina can absolutely take one of them playoff spots, just not ranked as highly as they should have been and playing, a team that they wouldn't have been originally.
Yeah, so I mean Carolina, Discover Central Division, right? Very strange division. You got Chicago, Columbus, Florida, Dallas, Detroit, Carolina, Nashville, Tampa. Um, I think Carolina's gonna be fine. I think what we saw was just kind of like Detroit just kind of came back and played pretty
Dylan Larkin
decent.
took
They're
you
gonna
back.
finish dead last or second to last because Chicago's pretty bad. So, um, yeah, I mean Detroit. We talked about it on the podcast before. Detroit next, we talked about going into this year's they're not a team that's like a team that's going to be like a pushover team this year. I think they have some talent. I think they're going to show it. They're not going to be great. They're probably going to finish in that bottom three portion of the division, but it's another team like the Devils. You're not going to want to play if you're trying to get in that fourth spot. So I think
Right.
Carolina just kind of got a little taste of that. It was probably good for them to get a loss like that out early on, and Carolina is probably going to finish top. They'll. I think they have a chance to surpass Tampa at some point. Tampa without Kucherov, but you know first two games Tampa's looked like a wagon, but Tampa also played
Tampa
Chicago.
is a wagon.
They're wagon. Chicago not so great. So we'll see. That's going to be the interesting part too. When the good teams start matching up together, especially in the Central Division. How do they fare? Right. So
Dallas
Carolina
and
and Tampa,
Tampa.
and that's going to be a fun couple games. The 8 games that they're going to play. Dallas and Tampa, Dallas and Carolina. Nashville looks pretty good too through the first two. Beating Columbus. A little worrisome if you're a Columbus fan. They did not look great at all. So, to discuss the Central Division, I think we definitely know who the top 3 teams are. I think we know Tampa, Carolina, Dallas. Whenever Dallas plays. And
Yeah.
it's going to come down to that 4th spot, and I think it's going to be Nashville, and it's going to come down to Nashville and Columbus. I think those are the two that are probably going to be in position for that 4th spot. Um, yeah, I mean I think it's in all honesty, I do think it is one of the weaker divisions in a sense, just based on Detroit, Florida, and Chicago. They're not that great.
Oh, I agree.
In a normal NHL season, they're probably bottom 5, right? So
Yeah.
it's really like I think who the 4 teams are going to be. It just, well, at least the 3. It's going to come down to Nashville and Columbus in that 4th spot.
Nashville and Columbus. Yeah, I think Columbus can take it. If Florida's playing their first game tonight here, in the next couple of minutes. I know we're recording on a Sunday night, but Florida's going to be playing their first game here, and that's going to be against Chicago, which is going to be exciting. I heard Keith Yandel's going to be playing, so his Iron Man streak is going to be extended. I think it'd be kind of silly to take him out anyway because you cannot tell me that there's 6 better defensemen than Keith Yandel on the Florida Panthers.
Yeah, I kind of just been seeing little stories about it. I don't haven't like read anything definitive on why he's getting like pushed out. I did read he's not part of their future plans, which is ridiculous because he is a great I mean, he's an offensive defenseman. He's a great offensive defenseman. Uh, but yeah, it's been weird to see. I don't know if it's something contract wise or it's something they don't like what but it's something he did in the off season that might have ticked someone off, or I don't know. He's obviously going to get traded this year, I would assume. So
Should have sent him to Pitt and retained his salary
still could.
instead of Matheson.
Um, but I mean, Florida. I don't know about Florida. We'll have to see. Obviously, they haven't played yet, and Dallas hasn't played yet. But Florida's gonna be exciting. I think they're gonna be like a fun team to watch. But like I said, I don't think they're gonna be any good this year.
I
At
hope
least, I
Duclair.
mean,
I
they
hope
were.
Duclair has that same season he did last year.
Yeah, I mean, they were like in that they were in the race for that final playoff spot before the bubble. Before everything got shut down. They were only, I think, a point or 2 points back of the Rangers, and the Rangers were a point back of the Islanders for that last spot. So, uh, I just think with this division, it's just a bit tougher for them in a sense. Uh, I could be wrong, but I don't see them making any, significant noise getting into the playoffs. And I think there's a lot of BS going on with the whole Yandel thing that could throw some people off as well. So
I
who
just
knows?
hope he plays.
Yeah. No, I hope he plays too. He's a great player. He's a funny guy. He's a nice guy. He's definitely a class act. So it'd be a shame to see him get, screwed out of a start or a couple starts here this season. So
Dude, he hasn't missed a game since 2009. Isn't that nuts?
it is crazy to think about. It is pretty crazy to think about. He's a stud. Yeah, he's not the best defensive. He's not the best defensively. Great offensive, defenseman, but seems like he's a great guy to have on your team. Great leader. He's a funny guy from obviously from just videos I've seen. So he's the creator of the song. So uh, it'd be a bit strange for him to get benched in a couple times this year for no reason. Be a healthy scratch.
Yeah, I hope he just gets moved and starts playing up where he needs to be. I mean, he's a good power play contributor. That's somebody that you want on your power play.
Oh, absolutely. He's a guy who wanted the point facilitating, the leader of it. So it's just strange. The whole thing's strange. I haven't done enough research on it to read on why he's getting benched or why he would get benched, but who knows?
Out in the West next, dude. Anaheim, Arizona, Colorado, who's obviously going to win that division. Los Angeles, Minnesota, San Jose, St. Louis, and Vegas. I mean, I think we know who the top four are going to be from here.
Yeah, this is my weakest division out of all the divisions, in my opinion. We're going to see Vegas, we're going to see Colorado and St. Louis in the top three spots. Four spots interesting. Arizona, Minnesota. Those are the two I think will probably take that fourth spot. I don't know who you have slotted in there.
I think Arizona's going to make it. I know Minnesota's going to be better this year, but I really like what I've seen from Arizona early, and I think that if they can continue to keep up pace, then they'll be a good team.
Yeah, I mean, the defensively they are messy. Their goalies are gonna have to bail them out a lot. And we've seen that through the first two games, but they have pretty decent offense. And this is a weak division. You can get plenty of wins off LA and get plenty of wins off Anaheim. So,
Oh, absolutely.
and I think them and Minnesota match up pretty evenly, roster wise. So that's where I think it's going to come between them. But I think you're right. I think Arizona can sneak in there. Um, you know, Minnesota's 2-0, but they played the Kings, and the Kings are arguably one of the worst teams in the hockey. So,
Yeah, did you see Byfield didn't make the team?
yeah, no Byfield. It's kind
I
of.
thought
I
that
was
was a
reading
little bit weird.
beforehand that he was probably going to get sent down anyway because they wanted to play another year, just to get more another set of reps in, I guess, before the season. But I was reading he may not play the whole year or even get called up.
Yeah, I wouldn't doubt it, bro. I thought that was a little bit weird. He must definitely not have looked that good in camp. He didn't really look great in the juniors either.
No, he didn't look that great. I just think let him get another year. Let him build his confidence a little more. Let's not throw him into the fire right away because that can't get in your head when you're playing teams like St. Louis, Colorado, and Vegas and how talented they are. You don't want to throw him into the fire like that. You want him to play games. You want him to be confident in the games that he has to play. So why not let him go? Let him play another year in the minors. Let him play a year in the minors. Let him kill it. Let him get his confidence up, and then next year let him get a full training camp too. That's the other thing.
Yeah, that
And
is a good idea.
it's obviously a huge difference for him when you're going from playing World Juniors this year right to the NHL. You're playing NHLers instead of junior players. So I'm not like mad about the move. I'm not like, I'm not shocked by it either, because we have seen this in the past. Some top picks just need a little bit more time in that minor league system before they come up. So what the Kings are doing, they're in a total rebuild. They're going to probably, I would assume they're going to maybe try to trade Kopitar, Drew Doughty this year just to get some younger players in the system or some more picks.
That would be wild. Do you think they
So
would trade Kopitar?
I think it's possible. I mean, Kopitar's what, like 31, 30?
Uh, yeah, he went in the '04 draft, I'm pretty sure.
So if you can trade him to a team that is contending, they'll give you a lot back in return. So
He's 33, and he went in the '05 draft.
yeah, okay. So it's definitely possible. I could see it. I mean, you gotta go. They seem like they're very close to total rebuild. So you're gonna want as much minor league prospects back for him, or you're gonna want more picks for him. So I can see them doing something like that for a package or something in return.
He's still unreal. He's so good in the face-off circle. That dude
Hmm.
will kill penalties. That dude will put him in the back of the net for you. That's somebody that you would definitely want. And you know what? If there's a team that is on the verge of making the playoffs and not making the playoffs, I think if they had a player, somebody like Kopitar, then it would definitely help them.
Oh,
Uh,
absolutely. And even a team that's like could be overkill, just that good. Just add
oh yeah.
another play like that, like make your team close to being unstoppable. So it's possible. We'll see. It's definitely, I don't know, trade deadline might be shorter than usual, but I could see some teams doing it, you know.
Listen, I'd throw my hat in on there too.
Yeah. Great leader in the locker room too. So it's definitely something big for a lot of these teams.
St. Louis, I think, is going to do just fine this year. I think St. Louis didn't change. Adding Torrey Krug was a big addition for St. Louis.
Oh, absolutely. And I mean, it's kind of funny. I'm looking at their goal difference right now. They're -5, but they win that first game 4-1. They look great, and then all of a sudden they awake the sleeping Giants and the Stanley Cup favorites and the Colorado Avalanche. So, I think they'll be fine. I just think they caught Colorado on the wrong day, you know.
You
But
don't want to, yeah, you don't want to catch Colorado
uh,
ever.
yeah, I mean, and unfortunately, they got to play them 6 more times. So, but obviously they did. They have shown they can beat them. But there's another case scenario of Colorado just needed a game, just to get that game feel again, and they came out the next game and absolutely dismantled them. So St. Louis will be fine. Defensively, the Torrey Krug signing was huge. Bennington's a great goalie, and they have enough offense to score goals and play with a lead for most of the game. So they'll be fine. I just think it's one of those games. It's a wash. We saw it in so many games. I was saying it earlier. This was one of those games where they play amazing that game one, lights out. Next thing you know, they're getting absolutely dismantled the next. So that's been one thing that it's been interesting through the first couple of seeing teams that get absolutely dominated in that first game and then they go out and dominate the team in the second game.
Do
So
you think we'll see Trevor Zegras this year? Has he played in Anaheim's first two games?
not to my knowledge, I don't think he has. Let me take a look here. I don't
I'd
think
be
so, though.
interested in seeing if he's going to make the team.
Oh, he is
But
going to make the team.
he is going to make the team.
Yeah, so I'm reading an article right here. Oh, never mind. My bad. I misread the article. He's in the prospect system. He his debut got delayed because of COVID, so he's playing for the Ducks AHL team right now.
Interesting.
So who knows? I don't think we'll see a lot of these. Obviously, we're going to see plenty of Lafreniere this year because he's obviously once in a generation kind of talent, and he seemed like he was like the most NHL ready guy out of all of them. I just think we're going to see a lot of a lot of these picks from this year, they're going to play in the minors, and they're going to play in the minors probably for the whole year because of the shortened season and with a shortened season and no reps in training camp. I know a lot of them played in the World Juniors, but it's a totally different ball game. So
He's been kind of quiet, Kev. I mean, for you to score 5 goals and his name not be on the point sheet anywhere, I feel like that's kind of a big deal.
Lafreniere?
Yeah.
Oh, I'm not concerned. I just think it was a bit of it's your first 2 games. You're playing in arguably one of the biggest hockey spots in the world. Maybe not talent-wise, obviously, like prospect-wise, whatever. But like, New York, it's New York, so it's like
the biggest. Yeah.
It's your first 2 games. He made a couple plays. There was a couple flashes, to be encouraged about, and him playing with Panarin obviously is going to help going forward because I don't think they're going to change any lines come Tuesday against the Devils because of how good they looked. I think
That's
it'll be
going to be
okay.
such a good game.
He's the reason why Booch had that goal, that third goal Booch scored on that the snipe. He kept that the puck along the boards alive and was able to create that chance for Booch to go down and score. So he's playing hard, he's playing well. I just think I think we might see him on the point sheet here come Tuesday. I think obviously I talked to the Devils. I think they're not an amazing team, not a bad team, but a team that can in a sense handle their own.
I was also impressed by Ty Smith.
Ty Smith?
Yeah,
oh yeah, he was pretty good
for New Jersey.
He's looked pretty good too. I also forgot to mention when we were talking about that division. I think with the way Rangers, Devils, Sabres, and Penguins play with like kind of like a speed aspect, those are gonna be fun games. Like they're gonna be exciting. They're gonna be quick. It's gonna be high scoring probably. So, I think we're gonna see Laugh on the board here on Tuesday. I think he's gonna get his first goal. How ironic would it be get it against your biggest, arguably your biggest rival. So I'm not concerned. I think that he's gonna get on the board here on Tuesday. I'm gonna be confident in that. I'm even gonna bet on that for him to score Tuesday in a Rangers win. But we'll see, obviously.
Kev, you heard it here first.
Heard it here
Kev
first.
is reporting live.
If this podcast is out before Tuesday, you heard it here first.
It'll be out before Tuesday. We'll get that done.
That's my prediction for Laugh. I think he has I think he scores. So it's gonna be fun. That's gonna be a fun game. I'm not gonna talk any nonsense about the Devils this year or anything like that. So so whatever happens. I'm not gonna be mad if the Rangers lose to them or they don't. And they whatever. It is what it is. So.
Oh, I'd be mad if the Rangers lost to them. I'm mad every time the Penguins lose.
I mean, I am too. I'm having the Rangers lose, but like, I'm not gonna talk shit. You know what I mean?
Right.
So I'm trying to be a little bit nicer, I guess. I mean, also, I want the Devils to be good because I want that Ranger Devil rivalry to like mean something again. So.
Yeah. And it's gonna come back because they're playing 8 games against each other this year.
Absolutely. So, could you imagine if they played 8 games and the Devils were like a good team, like a good team? Like it'd be awesome. So it just does take a little bit out of it when one team's definitely just like way better than the other. But I mean, there's still going to be fun games. There's still going to be the rivalry aspect. It's just,
Another
I don't know.
Another good one is going to be Ottawa and Calgary, dude. They're going to play each other 8
Oh,
games this year, and that is going to be hysterical.
Oh, absolutely. So the Scotian North Division, probably the most wide open division, I think. In terms of, I can't tell you, I can pick probably 2 teams that I can that I think are locks for the playoffs, but other than that, I don't know. It's so wide open. They all play such a crazy different style of games. I shouldn't say they all play different style of games, but like most of those teams are, I would say all of them except Montreal, probably like Vancouver, Edmonton, Ottawa, Winnipeg, Calgary, and Toronto. Offensively, dynamic, right? They create plenty of chances, score a lot. I mean, Winnipeg, so-so, but they're definitely a lot better offensively or defensively. Hellebuck is the reason we'll steal them a ton of games. But like, I, out of all those teams, the two teams I think are a lock is Montreal because I think they play the best defense out of all the teams in that division, in my opinion. And I think Toronto's a lock too. Other than that, Calgary, Winnipeg, and Edmonton and Vancouver are going to be fighting for those 3 and 4 spots. And I think they all match up well together because I think they're all talent-wise pretty, mostly the same. I mean, Edmonton has McDavid and Draisaitl, superstars. But other than those two, and Ryan Nugent Hopkins, but like, you got to have a full team to be like a good team, So
I think, I think Toronto's definitely going to be in it. I think Vancouver makes it easy, and I think Montreal makes it easy.
Vancouver right now a little scary. I do think they are going to get in though. They haven't started off great, but
that's okay.
That's okay. It's only
I
3
think
games
that
right
they're
now.
again, dude. Again, you got to go back. No training camp, bro.
No training camp.
I mean, such a short training camp. I should say. I shouldn't say no training camp.
Absolutely.
No preseason games though. Like these guys haven't seen each other. There's a lot of new players and a lot of new teams. There's no chemistry. There's been no time to create any chemistry. I just say give it a minute.
Yeah.
Let's play 5 or 6 games.
Yeah. I mean, I don't think Edmonton's going to get in, to be honest with you. I think Edmonton kind of stinks.
Yeah. They're wasting McDavid prime time right there, buddy.
I mean, you have McDavid, you have Draisaitl, and Nugent Hopkins, but like, what's been the same thing with the Edmonton Oilers for the last like 2-3 years? No goalie and no defense, and it's showing again in these first couple games when they get absolutely, they let up 5 goals in that first game against Vancouver, and then, you get destroyed by, they lose 5-1 yesterday to Montreal?
Yeah.
They've already let up 10 goals already this year. Plus Vancouver, I think, scored 2 of them in the game they did win, so they're already let up 12 goals. I mean, you could be the best ever offensively. Like, they're going to put up a ton of points offensively. Like, they're going to put up insane numbers, insane amount of goals, but they're also going to let up an insane amount of goals. And if you're an Edmonton fan, I would be pissed off because you didn't do anything to improve your team defensively when you had, a Torrey Krug, or an Alex Pietrangelo on the market. And you don't make that a concern. And you had a lot of goalies on the market too, and you don't do anything. So you're just back in the same boat. Koskinen, okay goalie, but he's not going to win you a ton of games. He's not going to win you he's not going to be. You shouldn't be your starter. Let's put it that way, right? And
right.
Mike Smith's your backup, who we've seen the Mike Smith show now how many years, and it's just not working out. He's getting up there in age. He doesn't have the same. He's hurt now. So if I'm an Edmonton, I'm gonna be pissed because I think you're gonna be seeing a lot of the same things, and you're playing in a division that's pretty heavily offensive. Every team's gonna score a ton of goals, and I just think they come up short. I don't think they're gonna win enough. I truly think they're gonna come up short.
Yeah,
that could be crazy. But
you're looking for McDavid and Draisaitl to score 2 every game. You're gonna need them to score at least 2 every game.
Yeah, I mean they're gonna have to put up. They literally have to score like 4 goals a game to win.
Yeah.
And it just, if I'd be pissed because why would you not even go out and address those 2 big things? Like, those are the most definite things that they need, and they don't do anything. And it just, even as an outsider, it pisses me off because they should win this division with who they have, with the offense they have, but they don't address anything else.
I can't be too sure what's going on with Edmonton. That is just a dumpster fire waiting to happen here.
They're just messy. They're fun to watch. Don't get me wrong. I'll watch the Edmonton Oilers game whenever they're on. They're play-by-play announcers, in my opinion, best in the league. They're awesome. But it's frustrating watching them play because of how bad they are defensively, and it pisses me off because they should be like a juggernaut. They should be like up. They should be first place every year, whether it's this division they have now or the division they're, always in. So why didn't you do anything this offseason? And we saw it in
Right.
the playoffs too. They got slapped around. So, they pissed me off.
Good
That's all I got to
talent,
say
but
about
not
them.
enough.
They not good talent. Like they have outstanding talent. It's that their defense is just brutal, and their
God
goalie
awful.
is just brutal. So if I was a fan of the
Yeah.
Edmonton Oilers, yeah, I'm happy I have Connor McDavid for the rest of rest of his career. Probably you're gonna have Draisaitl the rest of your career. You're gonna probably have Nugent Hopkins for the rest of your career, rest of his career. But you're not gonna win anything.
Right. What's the
You
price
know?
you have to pay for that?
Yeah,
Because you have to pay these guys.
exactly. And McDavid's done. He's paid. He's done. Draisaitl, I'm not sure what his contract situation is right now. I would assume he's got to be coming up soon. I don't know if he was re-signed in the past couple of years or what, but I'm sure his contract's coming up within the next couple of years, or an extension has to be coming up. And
Yeah,
I think
absolutely.
they did re-sign Nugent Hopkins too. I think about a couple, did they re-sign him a couple of years or
Yeah, yeah, they did.
so, you know, just get the defense right and get a decent goalie. Like you could have got Markstrom, you could have got Holtby, right?
Facts.
You let your rivals
Facts.
get them. You let your rivals get both of them. So I don't know. And they got to play goalie. Like you got to play Winnipeg. Winnipeg is the greatest team, but Hellebuck's your Vezina,
Connor Hellebuck.
trophy winner. So he's gonna win you games. He's gonna steal plenty of games for Winnipeg. So what are you doing? I don't know.
Yo, real quick too. I want to jump all the way back to the Central. I have the Blackhawks and the Panther game going, and I just want to touch on that first line that Florida has, and I think it's going to be a little bit better than y'all think. Alexander Barkov is by far the most underrated player in hockey.
Mm-hmm.
I think followed by James McCann. But
Okay.
that's a different story. He's got Duclair on his right wing, and if Duclair, who can never be consistent, but if he can repeat what he did last year, is going to be an absolutely outstanding goal scorer. So you're going to have a great two-way player in Barkov who can lead you on the power play, who can kill every single penalty. And he, I think, is one of those players that needs to be put up for the Celtics. And then you have Duclair on the right hand and Carter Vergehi, who is going to be absolutely unreal once he can find what he's capable of in the NHL. When I was doing some stuff with the Checkers, man, I got the chance to watch him while he was playing for the Syracuse Crunch, and unreal. This kid led in goals and assists, and he could just really, really find his way to the back of the net. I'm super excited to watch this kid play hockey.
Yeah, I mean, who knows? I mean, Florida could make noise. I mean, like I said, uh, last year they were only a couple points off of getting into that final playoff spot and that wild card spot. So they're gonna make some noise. It's just I think last year we saw it too. Is Bobrovsky was a mess last year. Can you get a solid Bobrovsky, right? Um,
Well, that's what you need. Well, he's hurt too. Even I don't even know if he's going to start on Tuesday. Chris Strager's starting tonight.
yeah. So a goalie and a goal as a goalie perspective, there's a lot of uncertainty there. And we saw last year too, like they can play very good hockey, but they're a very inconsistent team, I think. They'll go on stretches where they'll just score a ton of goals and just play super well, and then they'll just go on stretches where they just look brutal. So, are you going to get like a solid, consistent Florida team all year, or are you going to get the inconsistent Florida team, which we've been seeing even with all that talent the past couple of years?
And
That's, I
I
think,
think
their main
that's where
thing.
the problem's going to lie. Yeah,
Yeah,
exactly. Exactly. That's where it's going to lie.
but I do think this division does favor them in a sense. Maybe what I said before about them maybe not making the playoffs. Um, I do think this division. I think it's a pretty good division for them. I think because you get to play Detroit 8 times. You're playing
Right.
Chicago 7 more times after tonight. This would be the first time they're playing. Um, so that's a lot of wins you can get just based off those two teams. It's going to come down to how do they play against Nashville, which we'll find out, and I think how do they play against Columbus. Um, I think anyone's going to struggle against Tampa, and I think anyone's going to struggle against Carolina. And I think Dallas I think matchup with Dallas just isn't a great matchup for them in general. So it just comes down to you gotta play and win a lot of games from Columbus, and you're gonna have to play and win a lot of games from Nashville. Because you're not gonna get many wins against Tampa, and you're not gonna get many wins against Carolina, and you're not gonna get many wins against Dallas. So there definitely is a good chance of them getting to that 4th spot. They just got to be consistent.
That's all I was going to say. And hopefully they can.
So,
Um, but and there were one or two teams that are letting fans in the building this year. So hopefully it'll give fans something to root for and something to look forward to.
the sad part is the amount of fans are having the building tonight's the amount of fans they get on a daily basis. So I hate to say it, it's just, where they play is just not like a hockey, hotbed. So
Somebody had to.
it's cheaper to go to a Ranger game down there and just go to the Garden. I'm, an hour away to the Garden. So
Facts. Absolutely.
That's the sad part. I wish they were around here. So,
be able to catch some. Well, it's not usually cheaper to go see him in New Jersey either because those tickets are always sold out.
yeah. I mean, I feel like they're sold out based on the fact that I think in this general area, people just sometimes want to go to a hockey game. So,
Yeah.
I've done that a couple times with Devil games where I'm just like, I just feel like going to a hockey game. Let's go
I
watch
used to
them
do
play
that
the
all the time in
Capitals,
high
or
school.
What's up?
So I used to do that all the time in high school. Dude, it used to cost me $30 to sit 2 rows from the glass.
Exactly. So, like I said, I wasn't gonna dog the Devils, but I mean, they never really
Listen, they've been dog shit for years.
fan base wise, the Devils, it's been a bit weak. Like they never really sell out. And it sucks. Like when you're a fan of the team and then you're going to the game, you see, let's say they're playing like the Rangers or like even the Flyers. And I went to the Devil Pittsburgh game, the one right before everything shut down. There's more Ranger fans, Flyer fans. Even there was a good amount of Penguin fans. Like it might have been 60-40 Devils, but like that shouldn't happen either.
Yo,
And there's
Pens
always
fans show up.
and even the Islanders, like you shouldn't have more fans of one team in your own arena. You know what I mean?
Yeah, but Pens fans show up.
Oh, they do. So like, that is a bit disconcerting, and that's why I always make the joke: you better worry about your own team before they do move to Quebec because they really never do sell out. So, but I don't know. I'm not trying to like dishearten Devil fans or anything like that. So.
No, I think they have a lot to look forward to.
So yeah, they just got to do it the right way, and you got to hope Lindy Ruff is, the coach of your future. So, if you just want to see improvement, that's all you want to see. You just want to see consistency, improvement, and if they can make you happy, if you're happy with what you're seeing, they're not getting absolutely massacred every game. But I think it's definitely a right step in the direction, especially the division that they're in.
Old man Lindy Ruff.
Yeah. So we'll see. Like I said, this is the first week of hockey. Second week, I guess, starts today, technically, right? I guess.
I think it'd be
tomorrow. I don't know.
It started Wednesday.
Right. I think. Well, that was technically it. I think it's just a short week, so it's like that's considered the first week, I guess.
Oh, then yeah, week number 2.
Yeah. So we're on week number 2, I think, right now. So.
Yep.
We'll see. You're gonna see a lot of different matchups. We're gonna start seeing a lot of teams only playing each other one time now. You're not gonna see a lot of back-to-backs right now, so it's gonna be. This is where teams start traveling more. It's gonna pick up more. We're gonna obviously have some COVID issues here and there. So, yeah, it's gonna be a fun week.
Oh yeah. You want to touch on anything else?
I don't have anything on top of my head. I think that's it. I mean,
yeah, I think we kind of hit it as we went through each division.
Yeah, I think that was a good starting, podcast to start the year. We'll try to do some more, maybe we can bring some friends on or something that have, our fans of different teams and we can get their perspective on what they think on teams. So on their team. So
yeah, we got to bring Tom on.
Tom
Yeah.
can come on. We had Tom. I was talking to my friend. My friend John's a big Devil fan. He said I mentioned it to him. He said he'd love to come on. So
Urge?
yeah, Urch. So
Send him this way.
yeah. So maybe next week I'll talk to him. I work with him, every day. So John, if you listen to this tomorrow, I'll see you Tuesday morning at 5:30 in the hut. If you do listen to this when it comes out tomorrow, but yeah, maybe we can have someone on next week or something and get their perspective what they have seen from this week.
Yeah, bro. I love it. Let's hit it that, and then we'll be back up and running for next week.
Sounds good. So definitely was a nice time. Way to get started. New year. Glad to be back doing this. Obviously, we're gonna do this, every week. So, you'll be hearing from us. Follow us on Twitter. Watch the Twitter game. We're gonna try to be witty as much as possible on there. So
Oh, and I
yeah.
bought a snake. Did I tell you guys that I bought a snake? Kev, did I have a snake the time we did a podcast last?
I don't think so.
Bro, I bought a ball python and it's fucking awesome.
Yeah, you let
Dude.
it slither around and stuff.
Oh, I'm about to take him out tonight. Hell yeah.
Yeah, I used to I was doing like my pre-internship. I was doing some stuff at I don't want to name it. I don't know, whatever. But I was doing some work with snakes, and I loved them. So they're awesome little creatures.
Yeah, bro, you gotta come down here. You gotta come check out the area anyway. And then
I do. My work schedule's been hectic, man. We've been changing, and been some people leaving, and new people coming in, and then
same.
the hours have been all over the place. So I haven't had any like time to really just settle into a schedule. Like it's been crazy, and that's why we haven't been able to do this. So it's like, we both started working crazy hours and stuff. So I haven't probably had a set schedule since August.
Damn.
So we're all over the place. But we're good now. I think we're gonna pump these out every week, and I think you guys are gonna enjoy what we have to say. And then you guys have input. Throw us some messages on Twitter. If we miss anything from that week, you want to talk about your team more, open to everything. So
get us on the Twitter.
Yeah, follow us on Twitter at Butting Heads. Comment, like, retweet, whatever you want to do. So we're gonna try to put out the best content we can for you guys. So
we're gonna put best content out on the market.
We're gonna try. It's but yeah. So I think that's it.
Cool. We'll end it, cut it, edit it, and we'll be all good.
Alrighty. All right, guys. Well, nice talking to you, and I guess we'll see you next episode. Thanks for whoever's going to listen. Thanks for listening. Have a good night.